Hello, and welcome to In the DeNovo, a series of video interviews with today's thought leaders on everything to do with treasury management, product management, and instant and faster payments, covering topics from payments to industry trends and other exciting subjects coming in the future. I'm Will Grace. I'm the host, founder, and managing director here at DeNovo Treasury. We're a consulting firm focused on helping financial institution leaders define strategy, transform client experience, and grow revenue in the treasury management space. Thanks for joining us and staying in the know within the DeNovo. So getting back to kind of the roots of where you started, how long have you been, I'm going to call you first a practitioner of jobs to be done, not to be insulting.
Yeah.
But you are really, though, I mean, you had to start somewhere, and you got started with those that actually were the founders of this. I'm going to call it a philosophy, for lack of a better term, right now. Or
Sure.
Yeah, but it was Bob Mesta and Clayton Christensen. But then you were kind of one of the people that said, "Hey, how do we make this mainstream?" Right. So when did you get involved?
Yeah. So this is early 2000s. The story is, basically what I just described. So I was running a team of software developers, basically doing project work, right? So building websites, web applications, think early 2000 e-commerce sites, things like that. And business was great. This is like the Web 2.0, Web 1.0 days, right? Everyone was excited and having fun, but success was so varied, right? I do work for a customer and we'd have a breakout success. I do work for another customer, no adoption. Like we're doing what the customer asked and we're building the thing, but it wouldn't go anywhere. And it just felt like it was so unpredictable. And I loved the engineering side of it, still love to code and kind of get my hands dirty. But a couple of years into that journey as a developer, I realized if I didn't have a way to better predict success, I was just going to have a long career of sort of like celebrating and then getting a gut punch. And it felt like very sort of chaotic, right? So I went deep into just trying to study this problem. So again, like straight out of school, didn't really know that product management or product development was even a thing. We were just like building things for clients, but went into need state analysis, studying persona creation. Like there's tons of great work and books and things that if you want to get your hands dirty into this space, you can do it. So I went in as deep as I could, and it felt good emotionally that people were like thinking about these problems. But what I struggled with was, as a developer and as somebody who was actually putting my hand on the keyboard building things, it all felt too soft. So I could develop a persona and learn everything I could about a theoretical user. But then when I went to make very concrete product decisions about what has primacy in this product and what do I downplay, what comes first, what comes last, all those million decisions that people will be familiar with that you need to make when you're developing a product. When I sort of bounced that off the persona didn't give me anything back. And all these other tools that I tried to reach for, they were all too soft. And I was basically left to say, well, I've got my persona, I've got my need states, my shopper marketing, whatever. But at some point, I'm just going to have to make gut decisions. And I realized at that point that would probably be the crux of the issue of the difference between success or failure, is if I've got insights and I'm building off those insights, but almost every decision or trade-off that I need to make when I'm building the app just comes down to a gut decision, that's not good. So I had, call it fortune or the stars aligning or whatever. I had the opportunity to take on this gentleman, Bob Mesta, as a client during this period in time. And he would always come in with really interesting requirements, very against the grain. He was just a unique dude. And we worked together on a number of projects. Somehow I managed to kind of keep up with him. And he just had these breakout successes, just one after another. And eventually I just pinned him down. This is sort of turns into a mentee-mentor relationship where I think he kind of took a liking to me. The kid's doing what I'm asking and isn't asking stupid questions, and he keeps shipping and I'm happy. So I'll like answer his weird questions. But this was over a series of dinners and drinks where I was just saying, Bob, you've got to explain to me, like, how are you arriving at these things that that you want to build, you want me to build, and how are they so successful? And to give you an example, it's kind of the end of the story, but right before we founded the Rewire Group and went on this journey of evolving jobs to be done, we built a website and sold 1,500 homes, new homes in the Detroit area online, all online, without a picture of a home, without any details of what the home looked like, granite countertops, wood floors, anything like that, all using this method of what are people struggling with their home today? How are they trying to envision the future and where are they trying to go? And we would basically have a dialogue over the web using forms, because this is 2004, 2005, back and forth, very, very primitive, but would basically work a funnel of shoppers into a model home to sell homes. And again, even as I described this to you today, you'd say, wait a minute, you've got a home website where you're selling homes that you're not showing floor plans, images of how we called it house porn at the time. It's probably not PC at this point, but images of homes, virtual tours, anything. You don't have a picture of a home on your website and yet you're selling 1,500 homes. And this was one of the conversations like, Bob, I know you've got this philosophy. I'd like to show some pictures of the homes. No, Chris, this is how this thing works. This is what we're going to do. Okay, you've got to explain to me what's going on here and how you have these insights. And so back at the time, Bob had worked with Clay through the mid 90s, late 90s. Clay wrote The Innovator's Dilemma, which of course is wildly popular. And there's a footnote in The Innovator's Dilemma that references the jobs to be done framework. So Bob and Clay had gone back and forth, sitting in Clay's office over this concept of people hire products to do a job for us in our life and to make progress in our life. And that's basically the foundation. That's all we had at the time. So again, the stars aligned. Unfortunately, 2006, 2007, we all know what happened to our economy. The housing market was crushed. Bob exited that business. It was time for me to take this seriously and basically face into the fact that if I didn't understand this, I didn't want to do the success fail thing over and over again. I really wanted to have a deep foundation. So we founded the Rewired Group around 2006, 2007 to really go deep with Clay's blessing to say, go flesh this out, go find other product teams at companies around the world that are struggling with this and are looking for a new way to understand customer behavior and demand. And we spent the next decade basically going deep and fleshing this out.
And you are credited in the book with several of the use cases. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I think so. We were talking earlier, and you made the comment of like sometimes the best like addition comes from subtraction, right? I think you said it better. But I think one of the patterns that is always interesting to me is the disintegration of a product. And I think one of the most compelling case studies in Clay's book is the Intercom case study, where essentially they went to market with a tool. Des explained it, the founder of Intercom, Des explained it to me really, really well the first time we met, which is basically we went and had lunch and we sat down and he ordered a bowl of French onion soup. And he said, like, just think about how real this product experience is. If the chef behind the wall there is experimenting with a new recipe for soup, he's going to serve us the soup. And then in 10 minutes, he's going to walk up behind that wall and say, how was the soup? And just read our reaction. And he just got product feedback from us, right? And on the web, there's nothing close to that, right? We ship something and then we like scratch our head and look at Google Analytics and like, 30% bounce rate, 60% bounce rate. What the hell? Like we have no idea what's going on, right? So at the time, Intercom was posed as a way to help product developers launch something as a web application. And then like, how is it going? Let's follow the user through the app. Are you stuck? Can I help you? But through the jobs experience, they got great adoption for that job and then realized that it was being hired under all these different circumstances. So the support folks were using a shared Gmail inbox and it was CCing a bunch of people and they were all replying at once and like, oh, we look stupid because like we both replied and we gave different answers. We had sales guys now that wanted to use the feature, right? There are people browsing and I know the product team wants feedback, but I want to close the deal. So like, let me chat as well. So essentially they took one product, split it into 4 offerings, 4 products. All they did was subtract features. There was no addition, but If you're using the support feature, you don't need session replay and things like you can take things out, change the pricing dramatically, and grew. The growth rate was ridiculous. It was 7x over 3 years or 8x over 3 years. It just hockey sticked. But it's one of those great stories about you have a group of users. To the first point that I think you made, I call it putting some supply on the table. We know there's demand. We know product managers want to learn. We put some supply on the table. A bunch of people start using it. And then we don't go off and celebrate. We say, what is this doing for you? How did it help you make progress? How has it advanced your business? And we learn from that, because it's never the exact thing that we expected it to be.
I love it when a good conversation comes together. We are so lucky to have friends willing to sit down and talk with us about the industry. For more content like the video we shared today, check out our website at DeNovoTreasury.com and our YouTube channel at DeNovo Treasury. Thanks for joining us today for In the DeNovo. See you next time.